Welcome to week number 12 in my functional medicine journey with Dr. Willcole and his team. It was pretty unanimous that I give you guys a video update this week, which is great. Gives me a little break from writing. What I thought I would do is just kind of give you a glimpse into what the week looked like. I started my second round of protocols, which is the heavier mold toxicity detox, where I start to use drops, where I start to use some added supplements. And certainly we've been opening up detoxification pathways along this entire journey, but now we're really gonna hopefully start to get that mold out. When I wake up in the morning, I first do my drops, and there you can see all the different drops that I have to put in, and I basically use a water bottle. I fill it up halfway. The drops, I started out with 6 per day of all of them except one, which gets 20 drops. And so basically all my drops go into one mixture. I increase the number of drops every 2 to 3 days. The other thing I do when I first get up in the morning is I do some nasal irrigation. So I was telling people on social media the other day, not only does the nasal irrigation help with the mold, because actually the mold can hang out in your nasal cavity, which is actually kind of scary, but your nasal cavity is the spot for germs and viruses and all kinds of things. It also is going to help with COVID-19. So nasal irrigation is a way that you could protect yourself from COVID. Also, 2 drops of iodine go in the mixture that comes in this package, and you get this package at a normal drugstore. And so I can get that at Walgreens when I need refills. You can get it on Amazon. You can do whatever you want. You shake the bottle and then you shove that kind of up your nose. It goes in one side and out the other, and that's nasal irrigation. And then you blow your nose afterward. It feels like you're underwater, to be honest with you, like you get water up your nose when you went underwater. The other thing I'll do in the morning is I get my Keto Mojo meter out and I measure my ketones and my glucose, but I've talked to you guys about that before. That's a finger prick. It's very simple. I've gotten very good at it. I've gotten very quick at it. I would say with all these protocols, the first few days, it's like overwhelming, like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get it all in? Am I going to forget something? And quite honestly, you just adjust and you figure out what works for you. And so I did that pretty quickly. I figured out what worked for me. The first few days were filled with a little bit of nausea, wasn't going to the bathroom as much as I needed to be, had a little bit of muscle cramping, but honestly, after the first few days, I started to feel really, really good. I've been in a pretty high level of ketosis consistently. I think I've had one day in the last 3 weeks where I wasn't in ketosis. So that part is going really, really well. I also have a bunch of supplements to take. I don't want to go through them all. There's a lot, but I usually take my big bulk of supplements around noon when I eat. Then later in the day, I will take my second round of drops. And now when I'm taking these drops, I have 1 hour from when I take the drops to then take this binder. Kind of looks like charcoal, doesn't it? Well, guess what? It is. It's charcoal, it's clay. I drink the binder in one sitting, in a minute or so. And then I immediately go find a means to sweat. I can sweat via Epsom salt bath. Oh, and another thing about the Epsom salt baths, it's actually a great time to meditate. So what I've been doing is starting the Epsom salt bath, doing my sweat session, but also doing some meditation and breath work while I do the Epsom salt bath. So killing 2 birds with 1 stone there and doing 2 good things for my body at one time. And I've really learned to enjoy my Epsom salt baths. They are relaxing and super helpful for the muscle cramps. Infrared sauna. This is the infrared sauna. Gets a little toasty in here, I'm not gonna lie, it gets a little toasty. We're up to 149 degrees today for 30 minutes. Sweat. Or I can just work out. So I have all those things at my disposal, which makes me pretty darn lucky. I get a great sweat on the Peloton, so I've done that quite a bit. Ideally, I wanna sweat in the evenings, but sometimes you have to do it in the morning. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Doing something is always better than nothing. You know what, I get it in when I can. So I'm still eating very strict. I had a 6-hour eating window last week. I have an 8-hour eating window this week. 8 hours is okay for me. 6 hours is probably perfect. When it gets less than 6, it kind of is a little bit tricky for me, but I feel great on the intermittent fasting. I feel great with the ketosis. My body feels great. I think the biggest thing I noticed was that I just don't have any aches and pains. So the other part of this equation that I think is really important for me has been that I've gotten my upper cervical issue is on its way to healing and getting straightened out. And so I had a huge win last week when I saw the upper cervical x-rays and saw how much better my neck and my back were doing. In 5 months, we have made a tremendous amount of progress. So literally, I had days last week where I had no pain whatsoever. I really thought, being a former athlete, like that was never going to happen because I just thought it was part of the deal, but it's not. I've proven that in ketosis and with intermittent fasting, with anti-inflammatory, my knee doesn't hurt at all, and I have a bad knee, and it doesn't hurt a lick, and I have bad osteoarthritis. It's crazy how good I do feel, and I know that we're doing all the right things, and I hope and think that my body is responding to the detox and that we're getting this mold out. I feel like I am. I feel like I'm on the right path. We are waiting for the genetic testing to come back, which is going to be another component. So this week, I think we'll have some 23andMe results with genetic testing that is going to give us even more answers about what we're doing to make sure that we're doing the right things. So I'm excited for that. It can be intimidating because, you're going to find out if you have a gene that you're predisposed to, a certain illness. But, I'm not going to let that deter anything because I know it's the environment that brings that out. And I know that I am making my environment as good as it can be right now under Dr. Cole. I've met a lot of people that are dealing with mold toxicity elsewhere. I've met just a lot of people that are curious. There are people that have told me I really enjoy reading this updates every week. And that helps too, because it just makes us all feel like we're not alone and that people are supporting us. And the support of Dr. Cole and his team, I can't say enough about. Functional medicine is a wonderful, wonderful thing, especially if you're not getting answers, and you deserve answers. As strict as this is and as hard as it can be, because, I want to do everything perfect, I would do it 100 times over because it's so worth it. And seeing what was happening to my body, I feel like, I'm not trying to over dramatize, but I feel like Dr. Cole and his team have saved my life. That's how I feel, because my blood work wasn't going down a great path. And I didn't feel that bad. That's the scary part. But I ended up with Dr. Cole and his team at just the right time. And I'm so thankful. Thank you guys for tuning in for week number 12. If you like the video updates, I'll do more. If you like to read, I'm probably still going to write a little something. But thanks for being with me on this journey. If you don't follow Dr. Cole or you don't go to his website, you're missing out. It is a wealth of information, valuable information, and it's free. So check it out. And thanks for listening.